Today's stream is very simple. I am going to be playing not a game, but an AI. That AI is Novel AI or ChatGPT, whichever one. I'm going to use a combination of the two because I think it'll be fun. But the idea of that is using that to write an SCP. I'm assuming you know what an SCP is. If you don't know, I can explain it to you real quick. Wow, those are two very different things right next to each other. That's what I like out of chat. I got the Switch. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. Did the Switch? No, isn't Zelda not out for another week? What do Christians consider as a short time? Because I keep seeing videos like Christ is coming very soon. Then like 2 years later, nothing happened. I would disregard anyone that says that. I mean, if they're just saying that Christ is coming soon, yeah, Christ is coming soon. God views time very differently than we do. But it's all stemmed from the New Testament because we are told from Paul and Peter that the end times are near. We are in the end times now. And that's more of a saying to go as far as to say that, hey, Christ came, he died, rose again. Ever since then, we are in the end times. God will come again, and when that happens, the rapture will occur, revelations, hellfire, brimstone, all that stuff will happen. But that's not to say that we know when or it's going to be in a few years. Early churches thought it was going to happen within like 5 years of them being Christians. Like they thought within 5 or 10 years of Christ going up to heaven, he would come back down. So obviously they're wrong. Everyone's been wrong. Obviously the Mayans threw in their running in with their calendar ending in 2012, which isn't really connected to Christianity. It's just like, oh no, the world's going to end because the Mayans didn't have a calendar beyond 2012. And just the idea that God will come again, but we don't know when. We can't say the day or age. And if someone does try to say this day, this time, this year, probably should disavow them, should consider it heresy. Wait, so Emily, you do know what the... All right, so it looks like a few people in chat know what the SCP is. That's good. Because we are trying to create an abomination using AI technology, which is also what the SCP has built up against and possibly uses to help fight against other SCPs. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I recently went down the rabbit hole of watching SCP videos. And yeah. Because of that, I really, really, really want to not only write one, which I'm working on writing an SCP, but I also wanted to do one on stream because I think it'd be fun to use Chat Idea and then ChatGPT and then Novel AI because I've been seeing a bunch of people using them for stuff, and I made one video with ChatGPT so far and it was about Riz. So God will protect you from the monster I create. It's not that scary. It's more of a funny little tomfoolery edition. What's the meme? This funny man at my establishment or something. No. I didn't create a Riz monster. I'm saying I used ChatGPT to teach me about Riz in a video. This was months ago. This is back when ChatGPT first popped on the scene. No, it's not a Riz monster. No. Just Jimmy. Yeah. I'm just writing a story about me. Or Dax. Oh, true. Dax is definitely a Riz monster, if you will. You want me to Riz someone on camera? I don't think that's going to happen because there's no one with me. At least not today. But to start off our little adventure into the kooky wacky spoopy, we are going to just quickly review the rules for an SCP, because if you're watching this video or if you're watching the stream, you may not know, because you might know what the SCP is, but you may not know the rules and dictations for writing one, which I have already looked at briefly, but it doesn't hurt to go over it again. Then we're going to get into the fun of it with some different ideas. And I just realized, I think I had a notes tab open with some different ideas already written down, but I don't think it got saved. Please tell me, is it here? Where's Notepad? Wait, what? Where'd my Notepad go? Oh, it's over here. Okay, great. It did not get saved. Well, we're going to have to figure out some different ideas together then. It'll be fun. Yes, people seem to really like it when I pull my hair back. I don't understand it. Well, good to know that you prefer hair down. I like it both ways. It's my hair. I like it both ways. Where are we going to? So, let's get into the fun of it. And let's make an abomination that the SCP Foundation would be terrified to review. These rules are really, really, putting down the hard law. Rule 0. Yeah, they really, really do not want you to be that. Arguments, you may dispute the actions and opinions of anyone, including staff, as long as you do it in a calm, mature, and civil way. So no threats of violence. Or possible coups against the owners of the website. That might not end too well. Voting, you may vote on any article on the site for any reason you like, as long as your reasoning is based solely on the context of the article. Upvoting your own article, you can upvote or even downvote your articles as you like. I could just downvote my own SCP. Just be like, yeah, this isn't good. Just downvote, and make sure no one ever sees this again. Forum activity, don't make countless or excessively short posts. Spam, don't bump threads for attention. Gotcha. Posting articles, do not post a large number of low quality articles where staff tell you to slow down or stop posting. Listen, you may not copy any portion of someone else's writing to use as your own without proper attribution. Okay, that makes sense. Borrowing narrative or characters' content from other works is generally fine so long as there is no blatant or malicious attempt to deceive the reader. Huh. Yeah, that makes sense. Using images included in your article must follow the rules of our image use policy. Well, I don't think I'm going to worry about images right now because we're creating abominations beyond the unknown. I don't think there are pictures of what we're about to create, are there? Why are you guys digging a hole? Editing, responding to edits on your articles. You may alter the text of your own articles at will. However, please do not remove technical changes to your articles. Adding rating module or a corrected page name. Behavior that is indistinguishable from trolling. When it comes to trolling, staff takes an if it looks like a duck approach. Okay. Gotcha. Stirring up. You can tell this is made by people that are online because they have language that would not be in a technically official documented website, federal or otherwise. Wow. This is what the future is, though. Art plagiarism. Any art you post to the wiki must be compatible with the site's CC BY SA license. As with everything, it's better to create your own stuff. I'm not banned. I don't think you got, actually, do I even have an account for SCP? I do not. Nope. So we're going to have to also create an account for the SCP Foundation. You have to dig a 150-gallon pond? Oh, that sounds terrible. All right, let's hop onto the actual guides. Wait, no. Oh, I was already on this page. Writing an SCP. So you want to write an SCP. You're reading How to Write an SCP 2.0. If you're reading this, you're probably a member of the SCP Foundation and want to try your hand at an article. This page is to help point you in the right direction when getting started. Read it carefully, don't skim it. After you're finished, read it again because you're a human being, right? And you'll have missed stuff. I could be an eldritch horror beyond your imagination. How rude of you to assume. Before you start, some things to consider. In general, successful SCP articles have most or all of the following components: an interesting idea, reasonable containment procedures, a clear description. These are necessary for a good SCP. An SCP should immediately draw the reader in. They can't be muddled under a lot of exposition. Try to get a clear idea of what your SCP does before starting. Hey, that's what this stream is all about. Many first SCP articles fail miserably for one reason or another, primarily due to the writer's lack of experience. This is a challenge, basically, to just get better. As with everything, improve, adapt, overcome. Bear Grylls said that, I think. Especially, on his TV set where you got food all the time and didn't have to really worry about that much. Some first SCPs do wonderfully because their authors either had an instant understanding of what and how to write, which is rare, or because they took their time getting their bearings and learning the lay of the land. To help you avoid that dreaded failed first SCP, always ask for feedback on the Ideas Critique forum and or in our own official chats. Take this feedback to heart, even if it's blunt and direct. If you feel someone left insulting feedback, you can always contact a member of staff. If boundaries were crossed, we'll take actions. Low-rated pages are always deleted from the site once they are rated -10 or lower and have been on the wiki for the requisite 24 hours. See the deletions guide for more info. So don't get too down about it if something you wrote is deleted. If your first SCP fails, try to learn from the experience. See if the idea is salvageable. Find out what worked and what didn't in terms of writing. Sometimes your skill as a writer isn't up to the level of your idea, and keeping track of your old ones or for rewriting is a good tactic. You can always keep those in your sandbox. If you find that you have a problem with the clinical tone required, but you have a good grasp of the foundation verse. Is that what they call this? The foundation verse? I didn't think they would have a name so contrived as foundation verse, but you know what? Everything needs a verse attached to it now. And the subjects and themes it explores, you can always try your hand at writing tales. Tales are in no way less than SCP articles. I think I've read a few tales. I've mainly just read the SCPs themselves. Also, please note that posting a crappy SCP to get the bad luck out does nothing except clutter the site up with crap. I imagine when they started this website, they had a bunch of people that were just like, throw, it's the term, shit at a fan. Just keep throwing it at a fan and eventually something will stick or something. Well, I guess it's technically a wall, but I mean, the fan also works. It makes it messier, but I'm assuming that's what ended up happening. When writing your first SCP, put your best foot forward because it is a part of the standards by which your future work will be judged. Make jokes in chat, but put actual work up on the site. Make people think better of you. It helps improve the site and sets an example for the other newbies. Really, the best possible piece of advice that any of us can give is to be patient. Sit back and lurk. We've got all kinds of articles. Spend some time to get an idea on how the site works, see what's good and what's bad, what's highest rated and what gets downvoted, learn what kinds of things people look for in an article. You'll be better equipped to succeed in your writing. So, this is an SCP we're writing as a more or less joke because we're using AI, but I mean there are a bunch of SCPs that are joke SCPs, and I have by no means read every single SMP or every single tale. I do not have infinite time, but the SCPs that I have read either rely on being funny or being actually terrifying, like ideas of the unknown. I don't know who that person was. They just invaded my home. So we're going to go towards more of the whatever happens route. And I'm not going to immediately post this because I think that would be a little redundant, because it is, after all, going to be written by AIs and our own input. But I think there is some ideas that obviously I do want to workshop, because I do also consider myself an actual writer. So I don't want to just have it be thrown at a wall and hope it sticks. I do actually want to put work into it. But part of the fun of this is that we are using an AI. So while it may get downvoted or bad, I also maybe should read to see if they have any rules against using AI. Maybe I might get on some forums. But until then, we're going to make this a YouTube video. So if it pops off, we'll find out, because people will be like, you can't use AI. I'm going to be like, okay, I just didn't post it. But until then, let's do some more research. So one of the biggest things that we're going to get to is in the containment procedures and formatting, I think, but let's look at some developing thoughts first, see what they have to suggest about writing an SCP. The idea is to solve your story. Whether it concerns a tale or as an SCP, a good idea will carry you far and help you succeed. Here are a few tips to help you conjure one of those brilliant concepts for your article. If you want to write a creepy article, think of what scares you. Heights. I'm scared of heights. The site has its roots in internet horror, and we try to keep that with tradition. The stranger the fear, the better. A lot of the common terrors and phobias have been covered, and we love creativity. Yeah, that is true. By this point, there are thousands of SCPs, so most terrors have probably already been covered. You really got to start to dig the barrel, probably. If you want to write a weird article, think out of the box. The stranger or more original your article is, the better it'll stand out from the crowd. This is instinctively what I wanted to go for, because while writing horror is great, the SCP is already floundering in horror ideas, good and bad. And I think a weird idea is more likely going to stand out better, or be a better draw for an AI to write up, because inherently AI writes funny things. Now, that's not to say it can't write horror, but I think it will be better for our instances in this case here. If none of the above apply, try to find another emotion or reaction you want to evoke from your reader. Maybe you want the reader to feel sad or amused or intrigued, so find a way to accomplish that. That reminds me of, I cannot remember what SCP it is, but there is an SCP where researchers have this box, and in the box contains these like paper mache dragons that would come out and fly around, and children would play with it. I think it used to belong to an orphanage or something, that the kids would play with the dragons, and the kids might even have gone into the box. It's been a while since I've read it. I can't remember exactly. But they eventually just stopped leaving any input, and the dragons were just left to their own devices, and something about human childlike joy helped this world. It was a gateway to another world, helped this world to survive, and then it eventually happened to die. Very sad. I got very emotional with it, but it still lies underneath the SCP, because it's a thing we don't know about. What, there's this box with paper mache dragons that come out of it? That seems concerning. And then the SCP kind of killed it. Well, the Foundation killed it. Rest in peace. Try to find an interesting photo. Oh, use it as a base. Okay. That makes sense. I've done that before with other writings I've done. I when I listen to music on YouTube, I sometimes just listen to the music and stare at the video because they'll, depending on whoever uploads it, it will have just the best fantasy. I prefer fantasy, but it has like fantasy or dark fantasy or high fantasy or even sci-fi backdrops, and I'll just sit there and think, listen to the music, and be like, oh, idea time, baby. When you do come up with an interesting idea, look through the list of similar SCPs. You should always ask around on the forums or in chat. Other people may know of an article you missed. Yeah, that's a lot. For the instances of this video and the stream, I'm going to just focus on making the SCP. I'm going to do research then after the fact to figure out if it's a actual already existing SCP or something similar happens, depending on whatever idea we end up going with. Wait a second. Is my stream dead? No? Oh. Wait, I think it died. Hold up. That's strange. My Twitch stream manager is saying everything's all good in the hood, but then my OBS is like, yeah, you're dying. Well, that's really not good. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Wait. Oh, no, but it is offline. Okay. Give me a few seconds here for the recording. Is he going to come back? Maybe? Delay is stopping in 2120, 19, 18, 17. Okay. Look, okay, it's coming back. It's coming back. Good. That's what I want. Oh, yeah, okay. My bit rate is struggling, but it looks like it'll be fine. Let's see. So, if you do find an existing article with a similar idea to yours, see if you can put a novel spin on your article to set it apart. Yeah. Workshop your ideas before writing the full draft. The ideas critique can be pretty crucial for polishing up your ideas into something that's interesting, free from plot holes and fresh, not something the audience has already seen 9,001 times. Per the Writing Help Forum's new green lighting policy. Okay, I should read that. Getting a concept reviewed and greenlighted by 2 experienced reviewers is now required for all first-time authors who wish to use the draft forums. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I gotta imagine because of how many people they have writing stuff or wanting to write stuff. I mean, that's a good idea. Let's see. Show it to other people. Oftentimes, you might come up with something you think is a really cool idea and want to write it up as soon as you can. Before you post it, you should always make a sandbox page and show the draft in the Drafts Critique forum. You can also do this in our official chats. Note that people will not magically find their way to your sandbox to give you feedback. You really need to ask for it in the aforementioned places. Don't force idea. going and trying to force an idea that feels incomplete will usually end up with an underwhelming article. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of these things I can already more or less grasp my head around because I have spent years at this point writing poems, short stories, and trying to write a book. That writing the book is the most difficult thing. If you're trying to write an original fantasy, or if you're just trying to write a nonfiction book, it is pretty intense. Unless you have already done it and you know what you're doing. But trying to get it off the ground is pretty intense. So that's why I wanted to try this, because short stories I've made in the past, but I think an SCP, it's a very unique type of short story, at least the SCPs themselves, articles. The tales, more or less like normal writing or online writing, but the SCPs hold themselves to a higher standard than a lot of light novels that you will find on the internet, because I also read those, and in my opinion, light novels, I don't like them. I can't get behind them. I do not enjoy reading them. If they're bad, it's terrible, and just as a whole, I don't really care. If you're going to have a light story, a light novel, just make a comic. Make a webcomic. That's not to mention that there are plenty of bad webcomics. All right, so here are some general tips to help you guide in writing your SCPs. Act as if every SCP will be the first that someone will read. That means do not put too much in there that requires knowledge or anything else on the site. You are, of course, free to link to other articles on the site, but do so at your own risk. Too much of that, and people will have no idea what is happening if they haven't read the other material. Yeah, it makes sense. Less is more. While some articles successfully pull off multi-page exploration logs, recovery logs, and experiment logs, a majority of SCPs are better left as brief, easy digestible pieces of fiction. Don't begin writing with the assumption that your SCP needs a huge amount of explanation, logs, and addenda. Include them if they improve the article, but leave them out if they don't add anything. Get a clear idea of your core concept before you start writing. That's mainly what we're going to be doing today. Hopefully, we'll actually get to writing, but we're going to use AI and have fun with that. Getting a clear idea. Yep. This will help you narrow down what details you include and which you leave out. Leaving out the right details can add mystery to the article. Yeah, that's something that I've seen with SCPs and others, where people just put too much detail in and ruin the mystique. Dangerous does not always equal interesting. An item that has the ability to instantly liquefy bone in a 100-mile radius is dangerous, yes, but unless you can write it in an interesting way, people won't like it. Actually, here's an idea. Let's take that. Let's go over here and, oops. Let's give it an idea and let's see what it has. Okay, so item number SCP XXXX, object class Keter, special containment procedures XXS is to be contained within a standard anomalous item containment locker at site blank. Access to SCP XXXX is restricted to level 4 personnel only and all contact with the SCP XXXX must be done through remote manipulation devices. Due to the highly dangerous nature of SCP XXXX, all personnel within the 100-mile radius of the item's containment must wear protective suits and be scanned for any sign of bone liquefaction. In the event of a breach, all personnel within the affected area must evacuate immediately, and a team of specialized hazmat personnel must be deployed to contain the situation. Description: SCP-XXX is a small, spherical, why can't I say that word? Spherical, thank you, object approximately 10 centimeters in diameter. What is that? It's like that big. with a shiny metallic surface. The object appears to be composed of an unknown metal and is impervious to all forms of physical damage. SCP-XXXX. Anomalous properties manifest when it comes into contact with any living tissue, specifically bone. Okay, so the AI wrote it that it manifests it when it comes into contact with any living tissue, specifically bone. Okay, so that it warped it a little bit from the instantly liquefied bone in a 100-mile radius. It kind of took that out of there. It also made it, what, 100 feet? Oh, no, it is 100. Wait. When SCP-XXX comes into contact with bone, it instantly begins to liquefy the affected area, resulting in the complete disintegration of the bone within seconds. The effect is instantaneous and permanent and appears to affect all forms of bone, regardless of size or density. The liquefaction process is accompanied by a loud, high-pitched screeching sound, which has been observed to cause severe auditory damage in unprotected individuals. Okay, so that seems very well done already. I'm liking where it's going. It has some tweaks, obviously, but that just shows the AI power. I just put in a single line from how to write an SCP. Single line. An item that has the ability to instantly liquefy bone in a 100-mile radius. And it's already made an SCP that's more or less unstandard for other SCPs that people have spent days, if not months, writing. Terrifying. All right. SCP's excess radius of effects extends to approximately 100 miles, making it extremely hazardous in any populated areas. It is unknown how SCP-XXX came into existence or how it was originally discovered. Addendum. Incident Report XXX01 on blank blank 2000. Okay, containment breach occurred within SCP-XXX containment chamber, resulting in an activation of its anomalous properties. The radius of effect extended to the nearby city of blank, resulting in the liquefaction of bone in all living organisms within the area. Yeah. So they figured out a... So when you look at it as a strictly SCP, it's well written. It's not exactly, I guess, terrifying. Too terrifying. I mean, it is terrifying, but is it really that terrifying to you guys, chat? Foundation response teams were dispatched immediately, and a quarantine zone was established around the affected area. Over blank blank casualties were reported, and the cleanup operation took over blank months to complete. All surviving individuals within the affected area were given Class B and anesthetics to prevent any long-term psychological trauma. Following incident XXX01, all personnel assigned to SCP-XXX containment have been reminded of the extreme danger posed by the object, and all containment procedures have been revised to ensure that a similar incident does not occur again in the future. So, more or less from the get-go, this gives, what do you like about the response? Well done. It's a well done. But yeah, ChatGPT has written a almost spot-on SCP right off the bat, off of that single line from... Oops. Oh, they're in the middle now. From this. All right, find a hook. A hook is something that immediately draws the readers in. SCPs that are merely anomalous things that do anomalous things are rarely successful. What that something is depends largely on you, but make sure it's effective and included in as early on in the article as you can. If you leave it out until the end, it isn't really a hook. Yeah, which is what this did really well. It did special containment, or the containment procedure, which is more or less on par. The description, short, to the point, down to the very bone. Separate critique you get, nobody is obliged to give you feedback once you've posted on the main wiki, and they don't need to pull their punches. If you sincerely think you are being treated unfairly, contact a moderator. Do not engage in a running shouting match. Gore for the sake of gore is stupid. If your article has nothing good on besides buckets and buckets of entrails, logistically flung at the reader. Oh, linguistically, not logistically. How would you let's figure out the logistics for flinging buckets and buckets of entrails at the readers of this. We're going to just have a bucket that's over your computer, and when you get to a certain part of the page, it's going to just fling them at you. Real ones, of course, not fake. We're about authenticity here at the SCP Foundation. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's always a bunch of us in the chat room. That's nice. Let's see. So, formatting, templates. Let's go to containment. The very first thing you need to know when writing your article is that the motto of the SCP Foundation is secure, contain, and protect, not destroy, 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 as would obviously be called the DDD or D3 Foundation. Very few SCP articles can get away with intentionally calling for the destruction of the object. Containment of an object should be clear and logical, not flourish. No flourish, no extraneous resources. Every SCP should be provided with what it needs, no more, no less. This means that if the containment of your SCP is not dependent on something in the containment procedure, it doesn't belong there. A good example are the dimensions of the cell, locker, briefcase, jock strap. What if the liquefying bone hazard has to that I wonder how much that will save. Oh, great. Regenerate responses. Oh, no. Wait, did my internet go out? Wait, maybe my internet went out. Maybe that's why it's not working. Save and submit. Regenerate. Nope. Okay. Okay, it's back. Okay, so something interesting. By adding that has to be contained in a jockstrap, it went through an elucid class already. Safe class containment locker at site. Access to SCP XXS restricted to level 3 personnel. Okay, went to level 3 as well. And above, and all personnel handling SCP must be wearing protective gear, including a reinforced jockstrap and gloves made of bone-resistant materials. What's a bone-resistant material? Within a reinforced jockstrap made of a proprietary blend of Kevlar and carbon fiber, lined with a layer of titanium mesh. The jockstrap is to be kept in a sealed, airtight container made of non-organic materials. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, I think it got smaller. It's now 5 centimeters in length and 1 centimeter in diameter. I think it was 10 centimeters earlier. SCP is highly effective and can liquefy bone matters within seconds of activation. It resembles a miniature flashlight. When activated, SCP-XXXX emits a low-frequency pulse that has the ability to instantly liquefy bone all within a 100-mile radius, including the bones of living beings and inanimate objects. So you mean corpses? That is terrifying. Human bodies being bone liquefied is okay, but corpse disintegration, nah, that's where I draw the line. Highly effective. Okay. Bone material is highly unstable and will rapidly decompose into a gelatinous substance. Was recovered in a raid on an underground laboratory operated by an unknown group of individuals. The exact origin and purpose of SCP-XXX is unknown, as is the identity of its creator. Further investigation is ongoing. So, by adding that line, ChatGPT changed the class, changed the level personnel, which I might just not be familiar. Maybe that's because it's elusive, and changed the containment procedure, and also removed the addendum, which was the thing getting out that one time. Okay. And also it was recovered in a raid, whereas last time they don't know what happened to it. So yeah, so two very different but very similar at the same time, both very much SCPs. Let's try AI. Command V. Write an SCP about an item that has the ability to instantly liquefy bone in a 100-mile radius that has to be contained in a jock strap. Okay, so this one just straight up gives it a name. SCP-2388 is an anomalous object currently classified as an elusive. Containment of SCP-2388 must always stay in an airtight container and monitor from within with a remote camera system at all times. Okay, so far, some slight differences. As an added precaution, once containment has been achieved, any personnel not directly involved in the maintenance or administration are to wear a jockstrap designed for the purpose of containing. This is so both of them, ChatGPT and Novel AI, want you to wear a jockstrap, not that it's contained in a jockstrap. Though it might be contained in a jockstrap, we'll see. The object itself is in a jockstrap. I just didn't read far enough. With the padlock sewn into it in a small metal what? What small metal? Rod inserted through both padlocks? The object was found in blank Russia after the body of a Siberian man who had suffered from chronic illness was discovered with 2 rods protruding from his back. During analysis, researchers found that the rods were composed of bone which had been removed by force without leaving any traces behind. Following this discovery, multiple instances of SCP-2388 have been recovered. See Addendum 2388 Alpha. A single instance can only produce 1 rod per year, and no more than 3 instances can exist on Earth simultaneously. These rods will not grow back if left unattended. SCP-2388 is capable of liquefying any part of the human body except the brain and skull. So it doesn't do exactly what we want it to do at all. It doesn't do the one thing we asked it to do. Novel AI, you're already losing to the chat. Oh. Man, I can't believe Twitch chat's beating Novel AI so bad. Let's see what happens if I keep sending it. The one thing I am thinking with Novel AI is because it always has this down here, this send, it will always keep writing no matter what. So it won't necessarily stop with how ChatGPT just writes it and then we can ask to regenerate the response or send a message to create or add on to it. So that's the one thing that I'm thinking will happen is this will just keep going. It is unknown what triggers the production of the substance, but testing has shown that prolonged exposure to light causes it to evaporate, though the process itself takes several months. The liquid consists of the same chemical composition as bone, though it is far denser. Any object with a surface area larger than 1 M2 will immediately begin to dissolve after contact. To date, the longest recorded duration of time for an object to remain intact was 24 hours. 1 meter. Is this supposed to be 1 meter too? 1 to 2 meters? Well, you can't see it because my head's obscuring it, but it says 1 to 2 meters? I don't know what 1 M2 is. What type of measurement is that? This record was set by the Foundation during tests involving a large wooden desk. However, due to the nature of the test, details pertaining to the details of this experiment have been classified by order of the O5 Council. So it knows about the O5 Council. It knows vaguely about stuff. It's a lot less like an actual SCP. This one is more written like a current SCP, or the SCPs are meant to be written. Let me just quickly pull up an SCP. Yeah, just look at this. So many SCPs. Time paradox. So, object class Elucid Keter. This is SCP-196. Special containment procedures. SCP-196 must be kept wholly ignorant of any information regarding the reason of his containment. The subject is to be kept in a 2-room cell inside Site-17. This cell is to be furnished with whatever SCP-196 requests, as long as this request does not show any obvious likely lethal use and does not violate any SCP procedure. Subject must cohabit with at least one member of the site's level 2 security personnel, who must be armed exclusively with non-lethal weaponry. Okay, this is going to be very interesting already. Note that all staff below level 3 have been told he is a safe class object. SCP-196 has agreed to wear a satellite tracking anklet. Subject was told the removal of this anklet would result in his death, but this is not actually the case. SCP-196 displays no extraordinary physical ability, thus probability of escape is negligible. Okay. SCP-196 appears to be a middle-aged man under 2 meters tall of African-American descent. He claims to be 47 years old. Subject has black hair and brown eyes. There is no abnormal physical characteristics. Subject displays all basic needs of a normal human being. Subject tested with IQ of 109, well within normal parameters. Subject's psychological examination indicated that he suffers from institutionalized and Stockholm Syndrome in relation to the Foundation security staff. SCP-196 demonstrates no elucid type or other abnormal behaviors. Note, I've run the full battery of tests and the exam says this guy is normal. Dr. Blank. Addendum 19601. Those with level 4 security clearance should see the document 19601 for information regarding SCP's 196 and subsequent Keter classification. Okay, so it very obviously seems that he's just, yeah, he's fine. Don't worry about it. Unless you're level 4. Oh, wow. There's a lot of black already. Addendum 19601. Document 19601, SCP-196 appeared at blank 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 inside of site blank. SCP-196 claims he was recruited in blank of 2001 through standard Class D recruitment procedures for testing of SCP. Now, can we see what this is? No, we can't. Subject also claims that his younger self is currently living in another location in... Okay. Genetic identification checks confirm that 196 has encountered Foundation security personnel in the past in an incident at Site-17 on sometime in the 60s. During that incident, SCP-196 was far older and was killed by SCP security personnel during an attempted break-in at the facility. SCP-196 was, at that time, not known to the Foundation as anything other than a lone human assailant. However, he has found to be carrying SCP blank and several purely mundane weapons. While a lucid class event of this nature would normally result in an individual being terminated to prevent any potential for a catastrophic paradox, SCP-196's future self is already dead. This means that if he were permitted to die, a catastrophic paradox could occur damaging or destroying this continuity. SCP-196 must be kept alive until he decides to and successfully manages to escape of his own accord, and somehow travels back to experience his own death while carrying SCP blank blank blank. Note that because of the potential for paradox, SCP-196 must be kept far away from his younger double in blank blank blank. Additionally, a covert observation team must be permanently attached to SCP-196's younger self to protect his life. This dedicated security force should otherwise not intervene. Failure to permit the timeline from unfolding naturally could result in damaging or destroying this continuity. For these results, SCP-196, despite being otherwise mundane, must be carefully monitored and has been classified as an elusive Keter class object. So as we can see from that is written with the containment procedure, description, addendum, and then there's security clearance with the addendum for level 4 personnel. Very par for the course with the Foundation. If you know about the Foundation, I'm assuming if you're watching this video or this stream, you know about SCP. And it also goes more into, this isn't just an outright terror, this is just a thing that is a possible paradox cause a paradox because he exists simultaneously and we know he dies in the future, which is the past. So he also has some connections to some other SCPs. So more or less, he's probably just some guy that got attached to an SCP that can time travel because those things exist. And from there, they're just testing him to just make sure just watching him to make sure that nothing happens. And it looks like the thing is, I can't tell when exactly these. Okay, so it was edited last in October of 2022. There were 24-page revisions. Okay. So what we're finding out so far is that SCPs fairly easy to write for an AI. For a human as well, I would argue that we can fairly well write it. The tales might be more of a thing that AI can also write and humans might just struggle a little bit more with. But the SCP itself, the way it's set up with special containment, description, and maybe any addendums or events that happened, make it very easy and very simple for an AI to copy, as we can see with Novel AI and ChatGPT. Novel AI, though, I do think does probably lean towards the not as well or not as good as if you want to be grammatical. If you want to be grammatical, if you want to be grammatically correct. Yes, I said it. But it looks like the Novel AI will just keep writing this idea. To date, there have been 6 known victims of SCP-2388, all of whom were individuals suffering from chronic illnesses. So that is another difference. The Novel AI has made everyone that they found, the way they found this was from someone with a chronic illness. So maybe SCP-2388 causes chronic illnesses, specifically of the bone, maybe that's what they're. I mean, that's not to say that that's what they're going for, but that could be implied and understood from what the AI has been writing so far. While the subject of the experiments conducted by the Foundation remains classified, it is believed that the subjects were provided access to SCP-2388 in order to determine whether or not the substance has any effect on the human mind. Analysis of their bodies revealed that they did indeed experience mental changes such as hallucinations, delusions, and paranoia. However, the results of these tests are inconclusive due to the lack of control variables. Should we know that the effects of SCP-2388 appears to be non-lethal, as none of the subjects exhibited signs of permanent damage when their exposure came to an end. There must have There have also been no reported incidents of SCP-2388 harming anyone not wearing a jock strap while in what? Contact with the substance. Oh, it does have an addendum. Wait, but this doesn't make sense because we already know where they got it. Yeah, they already said where it was found. This is... Oh, wait. It said there was an addendum. Where was it? So it was able to... It does... Oh, right here. See addendum 2388. Dr. Blank, hello, Mr. I am Doctor from the SCP Foundations. How are you today? Oh, hello, Doctor. I'm fine, sir. How can I help you? Dr. Blankwell, Mr. Blank, we are in the Foundation, are quite concerned for your well-being. Have you noticed anything strange lately? You may find it hard to believe, but I assure you that everything is going to be all right. I'm sorry. What did you say? I'm just trying to understand the situation. Is there someone who can come over and assist us with our investigation? Yeah, sure, my daughter's coming home from school soon anyway. She'll be here in 15 minutes. Please come inside and wait. Thank you very much, Blank. Please don't worry about it. While waiting for the arrival of Mr. Blank's daughter, Dr. Blank began examining the remains of the Siberian man. After removing the 2 rods from the body, he noticed that a 3rd rod had been implemented into the man's lower spine. That's gotta be uncomfortable. This has gotta be uncomfortable, man. But it does seem like novel AI will just keep writing and going without stopping. Maybe because it is... So from what I can gather right now is ChatGPT is the better one, especially for keeping it succinct to the point, more in line with what the how to write an SCP. Each SCP must be assigned a certain class: safe class, elusive class, Keter, Thumical class are capable of or already, or in some cases actually used by the Foundation to contain and or counteract other SCPs, usually Keter ones. So elusive class SCPs require fairly specific containment procedures, but if they're followed, this SCP is easily contained. Most humanoids and sapient sentient animals should probably be classified elusive because they are capable of free will. Guys, we're all elusive class SCPs now. Woohoo! They got their work cut out for them. There's 8 billion of us they got a catalog. Humans alone. This class includes the first SCP, SCP-173, and the Nexus of Abandoned Places and Demisers. Keter class SCPs require extremely specific containment procedures and are simply so difficult to contain effectively that they need higher levels of care and resources to suppress. If you lock it in a box and there's a chance it bursts out through the lid on its own accord, unless you follow very stringent containment procedures, it's Keter. A Keter class SCP needs to stand out from other articles and be a unique threat all of its own. This class includes Shadow Person, an Incomplete Chronicle, and the maybe Thayer Monsters? So the Thiamiel class SCPs are rarely done because it's hard to write one specifically. Maybe we try to mess around with the AI and use the AI to write a Thiamiel class SCPs. Let's see. So here are the draft forum policies. Please note that once something is posted in the main site is submitted for summary judgment, reviewers may be less likely to post critique on the main site post compared to during the drafting process. Do you start? If you would like to ask a question in this thread, please click the new post button at the bottom of the screen. So here's a diagram of what it would look like. Do you want to start with a concept or start writing a draft? Do you want to seek feedback on the concept? No. Yes. Ask for concept feedback. Use Sandbox to write your full draft. Draft feedback. Yes. No. So it's very simple. If you start, you can just do your draft, use a Sandbox, and then just post it directly. Use a Sandbox to write your full draft. Do you want draft feedback? Yes. Do you want to use the draft critique forum? Do you need green lights? Ask for concept feedback. So it looks like you have to go through this process and this. Okay, so you need green lights if you're a first-time author. Okay. All first-time authors must get their concepts reviewed either in the Ideas Critique Forum or the IRC chat rooms and greenlighted by 2 experienced reviewers before the authors may request feedback on a full draft in the Draft and Critique Forum. Note that you can still ask for draft critique in the IRC chat if desired. Put simply, a green light is a vote of confidence from an experienced site member. A green light tells the author that the reviewer thinks the concept is solid and enough to be drafted and will likely succeed on the main site. So we could just take the story we used here and just throw that in. Drafts need to meet a minimum quality threshold. Makes sense. And then let's go back here. Writing style. Be precise and concise. Be precise. Avoid ambiguous wordings. Be concise. Don't use many words where fewer will do the job. Don't use long words just because they sound smarter unless they actually are more appropriate. Avoid Oh my. Why can I not talk? I've been talking for too long. That's why. I'm used to not talking as much when I'm on stream, so this feels weird and awkward. Be precise and concise, yeah. Be professional. Most professionals won't send their boss a report with a fart joke in it. Also probably wouldn't use slang in research paper for school. I have not been in school for a few years, so maybe I will. As well, researchers shouldn't try to be detached and unemotional in the writing. Not because they don't have emotions, but should try. Maybe my eyesight is going. You should not write. The entity is a 10-foot tall wolf man with glowing crimson eyes and teeth like daggers. It howls, sends shivers down your spine as if you instinctively know that they are its prey. Instead, write something like, the entity is a canid bipedal, approximately 3 meters in length. It has luminescent red eyes and a prominent incisors. Its vocalized universally triggers a fear reflex in human subjects. That is true. That's going to be, because I'm going to probably lean more towards this writing when I'm working on my own SCP. For chat, it would ChatGPT and Novelay, I would probably lean more towards that. On censorship, redacted data expunged and similar censorships can be used to add mystery or removal extraneous data. You should know what information you are expunging. Don't expunge something so you don't need to write it. Hide key information to draw the reader in deeper. Make them wonder what's behind the hidden information. Also, don't redact anything in containment procedures. If the procedures are redacted, how can a personnel know how to contain the item? That's a good point. Yeah, so we're going to have you go into the building and foghorn. What was that, sir? Foghorn. What was that? Foghorn. What am I supposed to do? Foghorn. Duck, your phone dies a lot. I've just noticed that now. It seems to die a lot, dude. Avoid giant blocks of text that are visually unappealing and unstimulating. Break up walls of text with paragraph breaks, subheadings, and bullet lists. Yep. Use metric and not imperial units. The foundation appears to the international system of units. Boo! We're Americans over here on this joint. Boo! No, thank you. I don't like that. This is more the technical stuff on how to add in things like italics, underscores, strike throughs, on-site links, external links. Interesting. At least they have it set up here. It seems to make most sense. So at 2 asterisks, then bold, italics. So two parentheses, or not parentheses, 2 forward slashes, then 2 forward slashes makes it italic. 2 underscore, or an underscore, and then the dashes. Okay. Then a bunch of brackets, on-site links, and then just do an external link. Do people do that a lot? Maybe you cannot. That kind of takes away some of the idea that it's on the SCP. Be like, hey, to go get more information about this SCP, go read a Wikipedia article or go read this news article. I guess unless that is connected to your SCP. Yo, Miku, what's up? You're doing Mother's Day shopping? Nice. I'm at home, sitting on my butt, reading on how to make an SCP. Formats, templates. Oh, this is just a template for article. Crosslinks are the heart and soul of our site and how many people begin exploring the Foundation's universe. But while many old SCP articles cross-link to other articles on the site, most recent articles do not. We think this is a huge shame. Try to link to SCPs in SCP Series 6 and Series 7. Think of it this way. You want people to read your SCP right and cross-link to it, maybe, and you're writing in Series 6 or 7 with the rest of the current writers, right? Then why are you only showing love to Series 1 SCPs? You can link to any SCP you want, but if you want to link to a Series 1 SCP, then you should consider also linking to a few newer SCPs. You think I'm a model at the mall? Or a model? Wait, is that a joke? I don't get it. Yeah, trying to use terrifying SCP to then make your SCP more terrifying and more interesting. You don't give it enough reason. You're like, hey, this should be cool because this thing's cool. Much the same with how Marvel is treating superheroes nowadays. Some people will just downvote because they don't like crosslinks. That's interesting. We just don't do that anymore. Not true. A few years ago, we dealt with so much bad cross-linking that many stabbing veteran authors backlashed against the whole concept, and it became forbidden for some time. Wow, that's some lore about the website. That's fun to hear. Just be like, yeah. What do you mean I haven't started making it yet? I did make it. Right here. You just weren't here for it. Or also right here. Oh, it's blank. Never mind. There's nothing there. Oh, wait. Oh. I read in I. Oh, I only have 26 text generations left. So yeah, so I did work on it. You just weren't here for it. I'm doing a combination of I'm using ideas and things written or kind of told, and also because it's AI, I don't really need to input too much. I just put in this, write an SCP about an item that has the ability to instantly liquefy bone in a 100-mile radius, or make an SCP about an item that has the ability to instantly liquefy bone in a 100-mile radius that has to be contained in a jockstrap. And I did that for Novel AI and ChatGPT, and it wrote it for me, which is terrifying because it takes all the fun out of writing. If an AI can just do it, what's the point of doing it? Apparently, Miku thinks I'm this person at the mall. I guess vaguely I look like that. I do think it's funny to be a model, though. I don't think I'll ever be a model, but I think it would be funny to be a model. Just be like, hey guys, guess what? I became a model. I was actually that's an idea for another. I guess it would be more of a YouTube video where I become a stock photo model. I think that would be hilarious. I think it would be hilarious if I became a stock photo model, so I can become a meme as with all the other stock photos that are used in memes. I think that'd be great. Hilarious. Even. Excuse me. I'm too sexy to be a model. I think that makes me all the more likely to be a model then. Humanoid SCP objects can be some of the most difficult objects to write. Why, you ask? For many reasons, the most common reason is something we've termed the X-Man syndrome. That is, making a humanoid with powers instead of an anomaly with a story. However, there's no real set way to tell if a humanoid SCP will be an X-Man or if they will fit in with the site. Here's a brief list of things to remember when writing your humanoid article. Don't write its containment procedure to essentially be give it what it wants. The Foundation is not a hotel, it is a prison. Don't go into an inordinate amount of detail regarding the humanoid's appearance or personnel tastes. Or personal taste, not personnel tastes. I guess you could just be a cannibal. Would that be considered an SCP just if you're a cannibal? Yeah, I like to eat human flesh. All right, guess I'm locked up now. Okay, see ya. Guess I won't be eating human flesh anymore. Don't go into let's see. Wait, I already read that. This is very easy. Wait, don't make an oh, it's a very easy way to make them look like more of a comic book character and less of an SCP. Yeah. I don't have a big enough audience to sell my bathwater. I'm no Belle Delphine by any means. Avoid using personal pronouns. Refer to the SCP as it, while some humanoids are referred to once or twice as male or female in their articles. This is usually a good reason for it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Don't make it so that everyone automatically loves your SCP in universe. Unless it's a byproduct of an effect, there's usually no real reason for personnel to voice positive feelings towards an object. That being said, don't make the Foundation be needlessly evil. As said before, the Foundation is cold, not cruel. Reality benders, magic users, or overtly superpowered people are really hard to do right. While some have been successfully pulled off, it usually takes a seasoned, experienced writer to do them well enough to not dive bomb into a negative review rating. Examples of well-received SCPs of this type are Abandoned Project, Liquid Life, Tokenkinder, and The Rocket Surgeon. If your humanoid has more than one anomalous effect or property, make sure that they make sense and go together. Remember, they're still objects in the SCP Foundation's eye. So don't treat them like a human. Bait. Gotcha. So going back to SCP-196, we can kind of see where this, as the writing of this, is not on necessarily. It doesn't necessarily hit all criteria of writing for humanoid, but it does hit most of the criteria. Like the main one is let's see. Oh, is to be furnished with whatever the SCP-196 requests, as long as this requests do not show any obviously likely lethal use. So there seems to be some amount of care for this SCP, which kind of goes against what they were saying in this article. But I think for this case, this one, you can kind of get away with it because it's an SCP that more or less is confirmed to be a paradox or some sort of it's an anomaly, but it's a paradox of some kind that. Oh, my internet died again. But that reminds me, I wanted to check who is Jerry Springer. Oh, talk show host. That's why I recognize the name. But as I was saying, they seem to be saying that this SCP can kind of get what it wants because they, at least to people that aren't level 4, it's just a guy that we're keeping here for reasons because it has connections to other SCPs. Well, we know they don't even know it has connections to other SCPs. Only level 4 know that it was in contact with SCPs. But that it wanted to be a part of a. Wait, did it want to be a part of the D class? Okay. Oh, he claims he was recruited in blank of 2000, somewhere in 2010 to 2020, through standard Class D recruitment procedures for testing of SCP blank. All right. Subject also claims that his younger self is currently living in another location in blank blank. So if we're going at this from a specifically reader-oriented, like, okay, let's dissect what's exactly going on here. I'm not exactly certain what the idea is because according to the object, the class, well, it could be a Keter or an elucid dependent, to people that are level 3 and below, or level 3 or below. he is a safe class. But in actuality, he's a lucid or Keter class. But in this article itself, they're talking in the addendum, they're saying he is aware of his younger self. They're keeping contact. They're observing his younger self, but at the same time, he must not be. Where was it? Why can I not find it? It says somewhere in here that they cannot let him know why he's being kept. But I think okay, so SCP, the very first line must be kept wholly ignorant of any information regarding the reason for his containment. So they want him ignorant of what's happening, which for them, for the SCP Foundation, it seems that they knew about when they came into contact with him in the 2010s. They're aware that he has had contact with them in the past because he had an older self that came and died. So they want to keep that information from him. But he is aware that he was able to time travel, and they are also aware that he needs to escape at some point because he gets killed in the future, which is the past for him. Well, for him, it's the future. For us, it's the past. So they know he needs to escape at some point, but they're keeping that away from the level 3 personnel and below. So it seems like they have the fair level of convoluted shenanigans that the SCP Foundation is known for. So that kind of makes sense. So, I don't know. I find SCPs very fun to think about and almost as a brain tease, if you will. So I really enjoy them that way. But I guess what I've come to realize and find out with this is ChatGPT is really good at writing SCPs. Novel AI as well can write them, but they're not as well formatted, and they will just keep going. Or they can keep going unless you put a stop to it. I mean, so I guess so does ChatGPT, but it's not the same sort of system. But ChatGPT does seem to be more oriented. I think I need to I guess the next step would be to go to the Ideas Critique Forum and figure out if AI written stories are allowed or not, because that might be against the rules. I haven't seen anything so far, because also this was probably, oh no, this was last updated in January this year. Draft policy, nope. Okay, so this is how they go about the numberings. Read everything on this page very carefully and only then click on the link at the bottom of the page to actually create the page. Copy the article text from your sandbox page, or if you dodge that important piece of advice from wherever you've written your draft and paste it into the text editor. Go through the text and make sure that all references to your SCP's number match that of the one you chose off the list. Fix the page title above the text editor from SCP XXX to SCP XXX, caps plus dash, where XXX is your chosen number. Click on the save button below the text editor, go back to the series page, scroll down, and click edit. Okay. So that's more on how to post. But kind of what this has led me to believe and see is that you really would want to edit your idea and get it really well rounded before you even start writing. And what I think we need to also look at is the fact that I don't know enough about the SCPs, or well, we haven't even gotten to brainstorming ideas yet today. So we need to brainstorm some ideas to figure out, okay, what exactly is our SCP going to be about? Are we going to go with the bone liquefying jockstrap? Well, I guess that would be that would actually be more fun. The jockstrap liquefies bones. Or do we want to go with another idea? Because I did have a few other ideas. I lost a note that I wrote them down in, but I think I remember the ideas. So we could do that. What do you think, chat? Is anyone in chat right now? Oh, and there's a delay of 40 seconds. That's a long delay. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. My throat is also sore because I've been talking for an hour and a half straight almost. That's nice and tasty. That's some good water right there. Wait, why is... Oh, wow, that's really tiny. I gotta boost this size up. Maybe it would just be better to do it... Oh, do it like this, yeah. So let's see. SCP ideas. We got... Voice that makes you do whatever you want probably needs a lot of workshopping because it doesn't really... How would you be able to contain that? Would it be able to be contained? Oh, wait. Oh, I'm not showing my screen. I forgot that doing a dash changes my screen. So that would probably be very difficult to do. What are some other ideas? Chad, if you have any ideas, drop them. But let's see. The other thing is right now I am going purely off of what ideas do I have that I think would be fun to make an SCP about. but I also don't necessarily know of all SCPs or any amount of all of the SCPs because there's over 6,000 of them. I've read maybe a couple dozen at this point, as I did just get into SCPs recently, but I've known about SCPs for a while. So going to what are ideas that would work as SCPs too? What are ideas that work as SCPs but have already been done? Kind of a thing. Well, my stream just died. Okay. Oh, wait. Maybe it's coming back. Okay. I think it looks like it's coming back. Yes, it's still streaming, but it's still delayed massively. Right. Oh. No, it's not. I was lying. Never mind. Ignore me. But yeah, what do we want as an idea? How about I just use SCP or ChatGPT, not SCP? A cursed painting that causes anyone who views it to experience intense feelings of paranoia and dread. A sentient cloud of black gas that can manipulate its own molecular structure to form various shapes and structures. A collection of small spherical objects that emit a bright, blinding light when they come into contact with any living organism. That one actually does sound interesting. A seemingly ordinary book that, when read aloud, transports the reader to a parallel universe that is populated entirely by giant insects. An anomalous computer program that can predict the future with 100% accuracy, but only if the user sacrifices a part of their own life force to activate it. I think they already have ones like that, so that's not necessarily new. A humanoid entity that is capable of absorbing and assimilating any other living being it comes into contact with, eventually gaining their memories, personality, and physical characteristics. I can guarantee there's an SCP that's already about that. Wait, are these just are these ideas for SCPs just SCPs that already exist? I would maybe have to go do some research, figure it out. How many? They give me 10. Okay. A portal to another dimension that is populated entirely by ghostly apparitions, which can possess and control any living organism that enters the dimension. Kind of bland. A series of underground tunnels that are inhabited by a subterranean species of sentient carnivorous plants. An anomalous substance that, when ingested, causes the user to experience vivid hallucinations. This is just shrooms. They're just ChatGPT is just telling me, yeah, you know what's an SCP? Shrooms. A seemingly ordinary house that is inhabited by a poltergeist-like entity that can manipulate objects and cause physical harm to anyone who enters the house. It's kind of just boring. That one's boring, if you ask me. So maybe ChatGPT isn't the best for ideas. Or maybe I should just take this basis and go from there. Or maybe I should just write the SCP idea that I had and make that into the SCP, and then see if talk to the writers, or I guess the owners of the website, and see, hey, I was thinking of using AI to write an SCP. What do you think of that? See what they think. Because I can see how some people would probably get very upset that, oh, you used AI to write this. Well, what's the point? I can't believe you do that. You're a terrible person. You're taking away the whole idea of the SCP where you're writing this idea. You're using AI to create ideas. This is terrible. It's not an idea. It's not an original idea. You're using something else. It's not yours. So I can see people getting upset about that. I can also see people being like, oh, that's cool. But I think the thing that I think about is, for the AIs, is if I'm using the AI to write it, then the AI will already cause a immediate kind of level of quality that, I mean, considering it's across the board, but if you can just use AI to write an SCP that's bar for bar as good as people that have been doing this for years, then what's the point of new people trying it or people doing it overall? So that's something I was thinking about. But with this idea, which I guarantee someone has already thought of this idea, so it's not necessarily a new idea. But I was thinking about that. Like, as someone that is trying to be a writer and likes the idea of writing in the future, using ChatGPT by and by to write does not seem like a good idea and does not entertain me. I just think it would be a fun idea. So I think what I'm going to do is go about this a little bit differently than when I started the stream. I'm going to write my SCP idea that I haven't told you. I'm not going to use ChatGPT or Novel AI to write it. I'm going to submit that, workshop that, and then maybe in a few weeks or a few months, depending on how long this takes, probably be a few weeks, I will then come back and attempt this again with a new understanding and hopefully with an idea of, hey, is this allowed? Or, because the other thing is, people could just upload a script to the SCP Foundation and never tell them that, oh yeah, I used ChatGPT to write this. And people may or may not be able to be like, see the difference. I would assume people that have been doing it for a long time might be able to tell, especially if it's like a first-time author. But veteran authors, I also feel like, why would they do it? But I think it could be a problem for first-time authors. So that was an idea for that. But I guess with that's where I'm going to call this stream and call this video. I don't know if or when I'll edit this down. I'll upload the VOD to YouTube at some point in the next week. But I hope you enjoyed. Hope you had a blast. And as always, Godspeed. God bless. Peace.